Alrighty, this is the book To Boldly Grow by Tamar Haspel. Thought I'd read some of it to you. I'm just starting chapter 2, and it's been enjoyable so far. Kind of refreshing. Kind of reads like an article, so to speak. It was apparently written this year. So, here we go. Hopefully you can hear me with the bus in the background. Chapter 2, Plants Everlasting. Tomatoes are like salmon. They're both delicious, and they both put all their energy into reproducing. Then they die. This is true of most edible things you can grow. Producing cucumbers, or eggplants, or green beans is a non-trivial accomplishment for plants. And once they manage it, they take their curtain call and go the way of all flesh. If you're trying to grow food year after year, this is irritating. If, like me, you don't find spiritual uplift in the labor involved in gardening, it's downright disheartening. So, if you're like me, you may be attracted by the labor-saving potential of perennials. Just imagine, you plant your garden once, and then every spring, you sit back and wait for the bounty to come rolling in. Okay, now imagine a diet consisting entirely of fruits and sunchokes, because that is what you'll be eating. With mint, or maybe chives. The fruit part is great. Fruits grow on trees and vines and shrubs that are perennial by nature, and they have a vested interest in deliciousness. Animals are supposed to eat them and then poop out the seeds in new territory. The more delicious, the more territory. Perennial vegetables, though, are nature's cruel joke. She tantalizes you with the idea of automatic food, and then delivers almost nothing good to eat. Sure, for 7 minutes every spring, there's asparagus. Alas, as asparagus doesn't seem to like the conditions at our house. And we got exactly 3 spears before our patch gave up the ghost. But if you're interested in the most food for the least work, you should absolutely plant a bed. There's also rhubarb, which isn't my favorite food, but has earned my affection by being the first plant up in the spring. With foliage that's already luxuriant, when other plants are still pressing the snooze button. And of course, we round out the big 3 of actually tasty perennial vegetables with artichokes. Unfortunately, in another example of nature's sense of humor, the labor artichokes save you by being perennial is more than made up for by the labor they require in preparation. Yet there are many, many plants that are edible. Surely we can find some decent greens. Oh, we tried. After 5 years of garden variety annuals, with enough experience to know what we could grow and what we probably couldn't, Kevin and I decided we'd restrict our annuals to a few raised beds, where we had the most control over the soil. In the vast, marginally amended expanse of Harbor coarse sand that was the rest of our garden, we'd try perennial veg. But which? We were looking for some all-purpose greens, the kind of thing you can add to a salad or throw in with the stir-fry. And now I will invoke the Jake principle. What is the Jake principle? It dates back to a time in the mid-90s when my parents lived in Manhattan in an apartment with a working fireplace. They didn't have any outdoor space, and my father liked to grill, so they set up a little hibachi in the fireplace. He turned out a mighty nice halibut steak. My little brother Jake happened to drop in one day when the halibut was on the grill, and it stopped him cold. He looked at the grill. He looked at my parents, prudent, reasonable people, and then he looked at the grill again. If that was okay to do, he asked, wouldn't other people do it? If your bent is toward experimenting, try things out for yourself. You will find yourself on this knife edge pretty regularly. Sometimes doing the thing nobody else does makes you a visionary iconoclast, carving a new path for humankind. It is only the danger of asphyxiation from carbon monoxide that prevents the hibachi in the fireplace from falling into that category. Usually, though, it just makes you an idiot who won't learn from other people's mistakes, and that is the Jake principle. It applies to perennial greens. Thank you all. That was some reading of To Boldly Grow by Tamar Haspel. finding joy, adventure, and dinner in her own backyard.